So, back for another episode in the OMG It's Additional Chemistry series and plastics. Today we are talking about, start us off, addition, polarization. Okay, so addition, word you've used loads, adding, and then polarization is a word that we're going to discuss today. Okay, so alkenes, which we've done, alkanes and alkenes. Alkenes are the ones with the double bond. Okay, they're the ones with the double bond, and they're used to make polymers, which are long chains of something. Okay, and it says there, polymers are large molecules made when many small reactive molecules join together. The reason they're reactive is that the double bond is quite reactive in an alkene. So again, it's the double bond. The smaller molecules are called monomers. So monomers of alkenes join together to make polymers. Okay, bit of a brief method of what goes on. Okay, so these are our monomers here. So we've just got ethene over and over again. Okay, you need to break their double bond, so their double bond will disappear. Remember that carbon likes to bond to 4. Okay, carbon has 4 bonds. So when the double bond breaks, that means there's more space on each carbon, because instead of having 2 bonds coming off that carbon, it's only got 1. So it means you can bond on the other end. Okay, and they form these large chains called polymers. Okay, so that's loads and loads and loads polymers. Because that's quite hard to draw, what we use instead is something called a repeating unit. So we just take one section of it and we put a little n by there, and that's what the repeating unit is, because that's just essentially simplifying this into that. Okay, so what do we use plastics for? Why is it so important to be able to make plastics? Okay, a bit of an overview. So different polymers make different things. Okay, so polyethene, so that's just 2 carbons. Propene, that's 3 carbons. Tetrafluoride is an ethene molecule with fluorines on it, and chloroethene is an ethene molecule with chlorines on it. Okay, so they're all a little bit different polymers, and they all have their own different uses. Okay, so ethene is used to make plastic bags. Propene is used to make ropes. PTFE, which is the one with the fluorine attached, is used to coat frying pans, and then PVC is the one you've most probably heard of the most, used in water pipes, window frames. Okay, the reason we use them: stick with low density, so light, waterproof, okay, does not corrode, big ones, doesn't rust. They might sometimes ask you to compare old materials to plastics. I know there's a lot of problems associated with plastics, and we'll go through them in a minute, but we used to use iron in our guttering. Okay, we now use PVC because it doesn't corrode and it's a lower density, it's lighter, it's easy to put up. Okay, we used to use paper in shopping bags. We now use polyethylene because it's waterproof and strong. Drinking cups, we used to use glass or china. We can now use polystyrene. We don't use it as much, but it is a use because it doesn't smash and it can insulate. Okay, so polystyrene is a really good heat insulator. Disposing of plastics. Okay, so this is where a big problem comes in with using plastics. Okay, so if these polymers are put in normal household waste, they go to landfills and are buried, where they remain for hundreds of years. Okay, people used to think that burning a plastic would be a really good solution, but it isn't, because it leads to release of carbon dioxide and a couple of other toxic gases. Remember, carbon dioxide contributes to the greenhouse effect, global warming. Okay, so some solutions we have: we could recycle. The reason for this is less plastic goes into the landfill, reducing pollution, makes current landfill sites last longer. Less crude oil is needed to produce new plastics. Recycling plastics requires less energy than making new plastics. Okay, so to check our understanding of this little topic, here are some questions. Pause the video, have a go. I'll share the answers in a minute. Okay, so what is a monomer? It's a small reactive molecule. What is a polymer? Polymer is long chains when you add all the monomers together. What's a repeating unit? Okay, a repeating unit is a shorter way of showing so it's a small section. Okay, what happens in addition polymerization? So the double bond's broken. long chains. So the double bond's broken, new bonds form, and it forms long chains. Why is PVC used instead of iron for guttering? Doesn't rust and it's lighter. A better word to use is low density. And then why can't we burn plastics? They release CO2 and toxic gases. So if we got them all right, lovely. And you can kind of move on to the next little video. If you didn't, go back, watch it again, and then attempt the questions again.